it's going to get totally taken over by everybody else but besides the people that started it. It's going to be a white face on hip-hop. It's a fact. We don't know how to part and separate from the thieves and have our own and build our own again. So black supremacy makes that divine separation. No one, no Arab, nobody, when you state black supremacy, no Arab don't even step in there. There's nothing in there for them. Nothing in there for them. You say Allahu Akbar, they coming. Oh yeah, I hear that. I heard you. So black supremacy separates us from all of them so we don't get lost anymore. Because if we're the divine, if we're the best part, if we're the most significant part, why has that part not been elevated? We have elevated all the other parts. We have elevated all the other puzzles. We have not elevated the puzzle makers. We're the puzzle makers. Now, to go further, I said, black supremacy arose out of us challenging ourselves to be more and more supreme beings. What do I mean by that? Life happens in evolution. When we first realized who we were at a certain level. And that was supreme. Because no one can judge the level of growth and progress of an individual, but really themselves. So when we started, it was supreme. But as we continue to evolve, we get higher and higher. We continue to elevate. So as black supremacists, we challenge ourselves to elevate because we became black supremacists by challenging everything else till we got to the supreme part of it. We dealt with the contradictions in all of the other religions, theologies, and ideologies. And we said, wait a minute. All this don't add up or it don't fit together. All of this isn't congruent. And by recognizing the incongruencies, we also saw what was congruent. We also saw the supreme aspects of it. And we kept those. And we got rid of the rest. We said if we're the makers and owners of planet Earth, why are we playing the white man rant? Why are we buck dancing? You follow? With this white man. Why are we allowing ourselves and our people to continue to be under white supremacy if we're the rulers of the planet? Why would we continue to do that? So we challenge ourselves to be congruent with the reality of being black supreme beings. And being a black supremacist is a constant divine reminder to self of that's who we are. Because we're reminding ourselves every second that we're supreme beings. I'll say this, and this could appear as a very controversial statement. But all of our people are a nation. And according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Farah Muhammad, all of our people are God. The black man is God. That includes all. So we are already supreme beings, and we are already a nation. To exist in the mindfulness of that, there the black supremacist arises. Because they exist in a constant mindfulness of this fact. We're not just a nation. And it's easy to say that we're God. But to stand in being a black supremacist, many of them that say they're God, you come in after you say, well, are you a black supremacist? They said, no. There's some white people with us. I'm not a black supremacist. I believe in equality. And no, I'm not. I'm not really a black supremacist. How can a black supreme being now be a black supremacist? But that's the question that made black supremacy arise. It arose out of assessing and analyzing those type of contradictions. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? We're scared to say black supremacy. We're scared to say that we're black supremacists. Although we acknowledge ourselves to be black supreme being, to be the supreme being. But we say that in our circles among ourselves. Yeah, we the supreme being, God. Yeah, God, we supreme. But when we get in the white man and we get into the world, when we get among the deaf, dumb, and blind, those who are considered not to know, we say, no, I'm not a black supremacist. I'm with you. I'm a Christian too. Huh? And I'm a Muslim too. Whatever you are, I'm that too. We gangbangers too, right? We RBG. We that too. Are you a black supremacist? Well, I don't know about that. Well, man, how you gonna be a gangster, a Christian, a Muslim, right? You all that. Judaism, but are you a black supremacist? No. And the essence of what you're teaching, the essence of what you understand in all of the schools of thoughts. I'm not just talking about the Nation of Islam. In all the schools of thought, we are supreme beings. We're the original people of the planet Earth. We gave birth to all of civilization, all science, mathematics, all that. But we can acknowledge ourselves to be everything but black supremacists, black supreme beings. We're scared of what the white man thinks about us. And we want to continue to live into the less that he thinks about us. We want to live in that paradigm and that standard. Because who's to teach him? Who is to show the truth to the universe? Who is supposed to do this? We are. But if we everything, we are going to be niggas, Negroes, everything. Besides being black supremacists. We're arguing to maintain all that. We can put on every hat. Right? I'm a Mason, I'm everything. We can wear all the hats. But the one that's called black supremacist. That's a hat we can't seem to fit on our head. I mean, that's interesting. All the groups. And they find it easier to try to be nice to all the other ones. We want the Christians to feel good about us. We want the Muslims to feel good about us. We want our black people that are doing this to accept us. But are you worried about is the black supremacists accept you? You know what? They don't care about that population of the community, which is the most important part because it represents the essence of everything that all of them are talking about. Am I right? All of them are talking about that. We supreme beings and all the man evolved from us. Right? All of them are talking about that. Each and every one of them. Even the Hebrews. We're God's chosen people. That's supremacy. That means you're supreme over everybody else if you're the chosen people of God, right? Is not the chosen people of God the supreme fruit? The supreme seed? So we even the chosen people of God. But yet we're not supreme. We're going to fight to be everything else. But to stand in that. So the black supremacist is one who exists in the mindfulness that is not afraid to present to the world who and what we are. Without wavering. We'll stand in front of the world and tell them that we are black supreme beings. Some people say, well, why would you have to tell anybody that? Black is supreme. If you're black, you're supreme anyway. Save it. Shut up. Because you'll say you a nigga. You quick to call somebody a bitch. Am I right? We quick to curse each other out. But we cannot exonerate ourselves and others. Because if we say black supremacists, and that statement, we're forced to not only see the supreme in ourselves, but to see the supreme in other black people. Right there. So I don't want to say that because now I'm forced to see and be mindful of the supreme aspect in myself and other blacks while I'm saying that. And in deep in my heart, a nigga still ain't shit. I don't want to associate a nigga with nothing supreme. Because if I do, I'm going to have to change my behavior and the way I act and the way I approach and the way I deal with them. Because if you change your perception, what happens? Your actions will follow. Wherever the mind goes, the body will follow. So if you're talking about black supremacists all day, you can't help it. You start seeing black people, like, you think black people look more supreme than I've ever seen them before. Why is that? Because that's been your meditation. So the word saying black supremacy is a chant to awaken the consciousness, to awaken the perceiver to the supreme nature and the supreme state of all black people. So every time we say black supremacy, we're not just ushering out some political slogan that's similar to what the KKK and the Aryan Nation are saying. When we say black supremacy, we're out chanting and invoking the conscious realization of the supremacy of black people. At that point, we're awakening our mind at that particular second. That's a mantra, a chant. Bringing into our realization the supreme focus of the supreme nature of our people. Words sound powerful. We say words are so powerful. Some of the Christians say, in the beginning was the Word was God, the Word became flesh and dwelleth among us. So if we keep saying black supremacy, what will dwelleth among us? Huh? What are we saying? Words are powerful. So I should not use the most powerful words in conjunction and association with black people? Don't say that. Say black is strong. Just say black power. Don't say black supreme. Don't say that. Say black nigga. Huh? Is this what is happening? So we say black supremacists. That means we're focused, irregardless of Willie Lynch and the propaganda that has been enforced on our people to make us see and think less of ourselves. The chant of the black supremacists, the invocation of black supremacy is the most powerful weapon that we have against the weapons of mass distraction.